So today we've covered a lot about the biology and psychology of habit formation and habit breaking. We talked about why certain habits are so hard to wire in, why certain habits are so hard to break down and eliminate, and how we can determine which habits are going to be easier for us to access and which habits are going to be harder for us to access and break. We talked a lot about this notion of limbic friction, and we talked about context dependence, and we talked about a number of different things as it relates to neural circuits and the formation of new connections in the brain and strengthening and weakening of connections in the brain. We also discussed two programs designed specifically for you on the basis of the neurobiology literature and the literature on the psychology of habit formation and habit breaking. Just to briefly recap, one program involves dividing the 24-hour day into 3 phases, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and to try and tackle specific habits at particular phases of the 24-hour cycle. The second program involved a 21-day process of engaging approximately 6 new habits per day, although the expectation, as I mentioned earlier, is that you're not going to perform all 6 of those, and an assessment in the following 21 days as to whether or not you have indeed formed those new habits or not. And there were a number of other features that I mentioned that were related to those 2 general programs, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and the 21-day program and how those could be meshed together. So I'm guessing some of you will probably have questions about those programs and how to apply them, but hopefully they were clear enough for you to get started. This is a good opportunity for me to mention that the Huberman Lab podcast has something called the Neural Network newsletter that is sent out approximately once a month. For the next newsletter, I will release a on-paper version of these 2 systems and how they mesh together for habit formation and habit breaking. And if you'd like to access that, you can go to hubermanlab.com. You go to the menu. You can sign up for the newsletter. First of all, it's 0 cost. Second of all, we have our privacy policy there, but I can tell you right now, we don't share your email with any vendors or any other sources. Those emails stay internal to us. And if you'd like to see what the sort of flavor of those newsletters is, the previous newsletters, for instance, one on tools for sleep that I mentioned earlier, or tools for neuroplasticity in the classroom and outside the classroom as well, for teachers and for students of various kinds, those are also posted there, so you can access any of the previous newsletters. My hope is that today you've learned both the biological mechanisms and the practical tools by which you can start to establish habits that for you deem adaptive, healthy, and that are going to support you in your goals, and that you can start to dismantle some of the habits that you find to be unhealthy or maladaptive for you and for your goals. If you're learning